Hello and welcome to Chesapeake Weekly Home Edition. Well, Chesapeake Public Libraries did an amazing job throughout the pandemic and continuing to provide services in large part online. But let's be real, there's nothing quite like the touch, feel, and smell of a book. So now that the libraries are back open, we thought we'd check in with the boss, Director Amanda Jackson, to see just what they're able to offer with the latest restrictions. Take a look. All right, Amanda, thank you so much for being here. You know, even though the library has been closed to residents for a long time, you guys have not stopped working. You've been very busy all this time. What's the latest? Where's the library at?
That's true. We've been very busy. Right now we're in what we're calling our phase 2, and that means that you can come into our buildings and access materials. So that's good because there's nothing sadder than a library without people in it. It's really, really quiet.
Yeah.
So you can come into any of our locations. Of course, we have 7 across of Chesapeake between the hours of 10 a.m. and 6 p.m. Monday through Sunday. So that's all of our locations.
Okay.
You can come in and check out, browse for materials like you normally would. But we've got a couple of additional items that I think are pretty interesting. Something called our quick picks. So as a mom of kids, sometimes I know that in a situation like this, I can imagine you might not want to bring your kids into the library and spend a lot of time browsing, and little hands like to touch a lot of things. And so that can be complicated. So what we've done is we've created suggestions, staff suggestions on different subject matters. So if I know that my daughter loves dogs, then I could come in and pick up a bag of books that says dogs on it. Might have a DVD in there, might have nonfiction, could have some fiction in there, mostly geared towards, I would say, preschoolers up to age maybe first grade, second grade.
Love that.
So much easier, right? Because you can just grab it and go, and then you don't have to spend a lot of time, and you don't have to bring them in, and it's a nice surprise for them.
I love it.
Also, for some of our patrons who may be a little nervous about coming into our locations, I know for me, there's still a lot that I feel a little trepidation as far as how do you get back to this normal? If you still want to use our curbside services, those are open at all 7 of our locations as well. So if you want to place something on hold, we got a brand new website, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
You can go and you can search our catalog, decide what you like, place it on hold. When you get an alert that it's ready, you just pull up to any of our locations and you call the number and they'll bring it out to you. So you don't even have to get out of your car if you don't want to.
Tell me about activities. You know, that's always been such a draw for all of our libraries. You guys host such amazing events and reading groups and that sort of stuff. What are we doing with that throughout the summer?
That is difficult, isn't it? Because it is the busiest, the summer is the busiest season for us because you do have so many people at home, and we do want to promote summer reading. So a fact that I like to give to help people understand how important summer reading is did you know that if your kids don't read during the summer, they lose an average of 2 to 3 months worth of reading skills that they gain during the school year? So it's incredibly important to make sure they continue reading. I can't imagine now how much more that might be because we've had so many weeks of our kids not being in school when they traditionally would have been. So it's more important than ever to make sure that we're engaging our students in learning and in reading, keeping up those skills. We are not going to do things the same way because we are still limiting the amount of people and how we're gathering, and we're all being very aware of that in our personal lives and, of course, in the life of the library. So what we've got is Beanstack. This is really, really cool. I actually just signed up for it today. So you go on the library's website, chesapeakelibrary.org, and then there's a little link for summer reading. Doesn't matter what age your kid is. It's okay if you're reading to your children, or if you've got middle schoolers and high schoolers and college students like me, there's even an adult summer reading, which is what I signed up for. And you can log your books that you're reading, and you get special badges, digital badges that you can turn in for prizes. There are also different activities. Like I know that we had one this last weekend called Summer Solstice. So we just passed the summer solstice, and the activity was to go out and soak up a little vitamin D. And there were some beautiful days this weekend to be able to do that. So that was really cool. And then you log on and say, hey, I did that. And then you get an opportunity to get that digital badge. We also have things, we have Canopy, which is a documentary website that we own, so you can watch documentaries for free in your home. Maybe there's a specific subject we'll assign and say, hey, if you would watch this documentary about this month is African American Music Appreciation Month. So maybe you watch a documentary about a famous blues artist that you really appreciate, and then you can log that badge for that. So it's pretty exciting.
I love that. You're making it fun again. It's like when we were little and we had to get all the books read so we could get like a personal pan pizza or something.
Right.
You've brought it
Right.
into today. I love it. The online offerings, I don't know if you guys have noticed metrics or what have you increasing, obviously, traffic to your website. I know it's really brought to light a lot of the offerings that you have. I mean, you could learn languages, you can take computer type courses for computer programs. Um, and then now, perfect timing, you guys have a brand new website. So tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, that's been really exciting. We have seen 100% increase in almost every one of our databases
Wow.
because people are looking for things to do at home, and we're trying again to engage those kids. So there are a million different ways you can do that on our website. Our youth services team has been awesome on our website, chesapeakelibrary.org. They're having daily activities, and that's going to translate into some summer activities. This is summer reading, STEAM, science, engineering, and art, math, all of those little activities that you can do at home. We had a dance with Dizzy. Dizzy is our mascot. He did a little bit of exercise. He got a little hot and sweaty. So he's taking a little summer hiatus, but just for a little
Yeah.
while, we show back up. We've also, as you mentioned, we have transparent languages that you can learn a foreign language if that's something you're interested in. We have books, DVDs, or well, not DVDs, books, movies,
Yeah.
audio books for all ages. This is really important too. If your kids are what I would call non-readers, if they don't enjoy reading and it seems like really a hassle to get them to read, I always encourage parents to look up audiobooks. Sometimes that's a really great way. I know my daughter likes to do it when she's cleaning a room. It
Yep.
helps her just kind of kill time. So she'll download something and start listening to it. That may be a good entryway into getting them to read a series. So if they decide that they like it, got a really good reader there. Also, something that's really exciting to me, and especially for me as a parent, that we just happened to do at this time. I'd love to say we were brilliant enough to have predicted this, but we didn't. We bought a database called tutor.com, and this offers free online tutoring every day from kindergartners up through college students because I discovered I would be a terrible homeschool parent.
Yeah.
I'm not very good at making sure that my daughter keeps up with her activities. And honestly, I was incapable of helping her in math by about the second grade.
Yeah.
So now that she's in middle school, it's a lot more difficult. And when she's got a problem and you can't do school in a traditional sense, oh my gosh, how are we going to help them? Well, that's what tutor.com does. And I know that for some of my other friends who have kids that are starting to take the ACTs and the SATs, doing some college prep, oh my gosh, what are they supposed to do? And they're nervous. And they would normally maybe hire a tutor or go take classes somewhere that would help them prepare for that. Can't do that right now. Tutor.com does that as well. So that's pretty fantastic. I think it's
That's
just a really
amazing.
great service.
I really feel like you guys at the library have done such a good job shifting into whatever this, I know people hate it, but the new normal, whatever this is going to be, you guys have done such a great job. And I think if anything comes out of it, it's that our community realizes just how much we love the library. Everything you guys have to offer, whether it's in person or online, we're so appreciative of everything you guys are doing.
Oh, thank you so much. We're just happy to be here. It's been really great to see as we've been able to open into this phase two. Oh my gosh, just to be able to see the wonderful things that people have said about us and how excited they are to be able to access our services again. It really makes you feel good to be a part of the library and the
Well,
city of Chesapeake. It's been amazing just
yes.
to see how coordinated this effort has been to communicate all the different changes. This has been a scary time for everybody. And to create as much normalcy as possible, it's been nice to have a part of that.
I totally agree. Amanda Jackson, thank you so much for chatting with us. And I'm going to come by the Central Library one of these days and pick up those bag of books for my toddlers. That sounds like a great idea. Love it.
Awesome. Please
Thank you,
do.
Amanda.
All right. Bye.
Okay, I will stop the recording. That is absolutely perfect. Let me see. And we should be good to go.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, Amanda.
No problem. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
And if you haven't already checked out their new website, they have a wonderful, sleek new design. Used to be infopeak.org, is now chesapeakelibrary.org. Looks a little bit different, still provides the great information with a new user-friendly format. So definitely check out chesapeakelibrary.org if you haven't already. Well, the Independence Day holiday is coming up this week, and with that, a few schedule changes here in the city. All city offices, courts, community centers, and libraries will be closed on Friday, July 3rd and Saturday, July 4th. Now, this will not affect trash and recycling collection. That schedule will not change, so Friday's collection will still take place as scheduled. While we understand the disappointment of all the local fireworks displays being canceled, we want to remind you that here in Chesapeake, fireworks are illegal. And more than that, they're very dangerous. Here's a message from the Chesapeake Fire Department.
Typically in years past, we've recommended that you leave it to the professionals by attending permitted professional fireworks displays. Unfortunately, due to the restrictions on public gatherings, that's not possible this year. But we want to encourage you to find safe alternative methods for celebrating the Independence Day weekend. That's primarily because fireworks are very dangerous and unpredictable. In fact, the NFPA says that over 19,000 fires were started in the year 2018 as a result of illegal fireworks use. And U.S. emergency rooms treated over 9,000 patients as a result of burn or blast injuries directly related to fireworks. Fireworks in Chesapeake are illegal to use, possess, to handle, or sell. Violations of this could result in a Class 1 misdemeanor, up to 12 months in jail, and a $2,500 fine. So please be safe this 4th of July weekend. Find alternative ways to celebrate that do not involve the use of illegal fireworks.
Now, if you're looking for something to get you into that Independence Day spirit, we've got it. On Chesapeake Television, we're going to be re-airing classic South Norfolk 4th of July parades starting on Saturday at 10 a.m. We're going to rerun 2019, 2018, and 2017, so we hope that you'll check them out and at least get in your parade fix by watching it on TV. You can find us on Cox Channel 48 or Verizon Channel 43, and we'll also be featuring last year's parade on youtube.com/Chesapeake Television. So be sure to tune in to us so that you can still get that 4th of July feeling this year. We want to remind everybody about funding available to those in need who have been negatively impacted by the pandemic. If you're concerned about how you'll be paying your rent or utility bills, you may be able to get money and assistance through the CARES Act. Eligible citizens can receive a one-time short-term rental or utility assistance to prevent evictions and homelessness due to hardships caused by the pandemic. Assistance is subject to the availability of funding, program guidelines, and other audit specifications. For qualification details and information on how to apply, visit cityofchesapeake.net/COVID-19 or call the Housing Crisis Hotline at 587-4202. Having the right tools and technology is a critical component to responding to any emergency. And here in Chesapeake, a major tool in our emergency tool belt is the Public Safety Operations Center. This building was built a couple of years back. It houses 911 dispatch, the call center, some information technology, and of course, emergency management. Two members of the emergency management team recently told us a little bit more about the PSOC, as we call it, and how they've been using it throughout the pandemic.
So we're doing a lot of dashboards. That's been a big thing for us, the numbers of COVID cases and things like that. There's lots of data that goes on with the COVID response. And so we're trying to aggregate that data and display it in a way that is easy to understand for our decision makers so that they can make decisions tracking along how we're going to reopen, what the trending data looks like, flattening the curve and all like that. So there's so much data that's in and around a public health crisis that CineMassive has really helped us to display that visually for our decision makers when they can get in here to the operations center.
The way this EOC was designed and the way the CineMassive system integrates is that we have collaboration tables that are on the outside of the room, so we're able to really space individuals out. The fact that we have such a large CineMassive wall that we can display a large amount of content on that wall, and then that way, so wherever you really are in the room, you'll be able to see what's going on. The other great thing is that we have several breakout rooms here. We have our policy room, we have our planning cell. We have our PIO room, our JIC. We can actually take data through CineMassive and push and pull content to all these rooms.
During COVID, it's been going on since basically we've had our Operations Center active since February. So February to mid-June, here we are. And we've had a significant thunderstorm that knocked out power to about 30,000 clients in the city of Chesapeake. We've had a hurricane threat. We've had elections that have had to go on during this COVID environment. And then obviously, very recently, we had a lot of the First Amendment displays, protests related to Black Lives Matter. We were able to bring in some police guys, display their drone footage, display video footage of the protest, of the walk, bring in social media feeds onto our wall so that they had situational awareness about what's going on during this large 2,000 person protest walk that we had here in mid-June. And so we had to do that in the COVID environment, so we could only have, like 8, 9 guys in here to do that, but we were able to, with the wall, display that information and share it.
That's it for this week's edition of Chesapeake Weekly. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay healthy, and we'll see you next week.